My name is Dr. John Stewart. This is the 30th of March 2020 and I want to give you information about colloidal generators. I'm the president of Biophysica and the inventor of all of these products. I've been making these for about 25 years, almost since the beginning of the internet, when I had a website on CompuServe, even before the internet was born. So I've been in this business a long time. And it's a great privilege for me to help thousands of people through you who buy my equipment and then use it to provide healing and health for other people. We're in Toronto, Canada, and I'm available by phone 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for hotline support. Hello there, thank you for watching. I'm going to talk about the commercial colloidal generator that comes with a bucket. This bucket is 5 gallons and we drill a hole at the bottom for a tap to go in so that you can drain the water, or you can allow deposit to accumulate in the bottom under the tap, so you can separate off the clear liquid. So this fits in, so you get, this comes separately because we don't want it breaking off in transit. So you put this through the hole, and then the nut goes on the other side, so that you end up with a bucket and a tap. And this crossbar allows you to hang down 3 pairs of these giant electrodes. So although it's too long for a 5-gallon drum, some of my customers are using 55-gallon drums that have a 24-inch diameter mouth. So over a big drum, 20, 30, 50 gallons, you can have several pairs hanging down from this crossbar that's got many holes cut. And the reason for that is that you can bring a pair of electrodes closer together or wider apart. So let me show you how these fit in. These go in like that. And the other one goes alongside it, maybe about 1 inch apart. So that way they hang down. We give you nuts to screw them down, hold them so that they don't flap around and short each other. So 1 inch is a good separation distance, but you can put them further apart or very close together. If you've got very pure water, then you may have to bring the plates closer so as to get more electrical current conducting through the water. Now, pure distilled water of a conductivity of about 1 or 2 microsiemens is not going to conduct much electricity. So that's why we want to bring the plates closer together. Now, to connect the plates, we have these cables that we provide with the ring connectors. So when you have the 2 plates already mounted, you put one ring on one plate, yeah, and the other ring on the other plate, so that each plate is getting electrical current. So the current then flows between the plates in the water. So that's the arrangement you have. And then the other end goes to the colloidal generator, which is here. And the 2 wires, the red and black wires, connect to the output of the colloidal generator. And there are little holes here in the little holes here where you put that in like that, screw it down, This one, put it in through the little hole. These are shorted, that's why we got a spark. So you put that in there and screw them down, and you're all ready to go. Now there's a meter on the colloidal generator. It's showing 0 right now because there's no output, there's no circuit. But I supply you with a dummy load of 1,000 ohms, which is equivalent to most water situations. And see, now we're getting 12 milliamps, which is the lowest level for this colloidal generator, and it allows you to get extremely high quality at these low current levels. Actually 12 is too low, but some people like it very low. So we'll turn up the knob and you'll see the current level increasing up to the maximum that this particular load will provide. So in this case it's close to 100 milliamps. So we turn that down. Now this little dummy load here allows you to test that there's actually energy. You can feel it getting hot. So there's real energy going through here. It would even light a light bulb. So we'll pull it out. And then here is the blue flashing light, and we've changed it's now a red flashing light, indicates that there's a clock running. Back and forward there's a clock, and that clock switches alternating polarity, so that each plate in turn becomes positive and negative. And the reason for that is that atoms only come off the positive or anode. So it releases atoms, and they would deposit on the cathode, the grounding one, if it were not for the flow of water, because of the pump that I'll show you shortly. So for a minute or two we've got atoms coming off the anode, or positive, and then the alternating polarity switches it so that the anode becomes this plate, and it starts liberating atoms. Only one plate liberates atoms at one time. So inevitably there is some accumulation on the grounding electrode, so the alternating polarity cleans off or burns off any deposit that accumulated on the cathode, the negative plate. In addition to this cable that we gave you, talking about cable, this cable allows you to use your old SilverGen equipment. This goes onto our plates. This plugs into an old SilverGen Pro machine. Yeah. Because our plates are bigger and more effective. Let's look more closely at the colloidal generator. We have two channels, channel 1 and channel 2. They're quite separate, and they will drive two different metals, two different buckets, or even two or more in the same bucket. This is the power on-off switch. This is a circuit breaker that protects the circuitry in case of any short. This switch allows you to choose which channel you're looking at. Channel 1 on this side, channel 2 allows you to monitor the current through channel 2. This is disables the alternating polarity that I talked about, the self-cleaning. Disable it, but normally you keep these switches in the up position, so you want the alternating polarity to be functioning all the time. The power is supplied by a 12 volt 36 watt power supply, and we have two electrical connections. The reason being that in some countries the plug is slightly different. it's called, this is 2.1 millimeter. Some power supplies, if you lose the one I give you, and you can get another 12 volt power supply in your local area or local country, and it may have the other 2.5 plug. So that plug, that power supply adapter is 12 volts, 3 amps, 36 watts. And this is made by Meanwell. It's the most advanced and reliable power supply in the world. On the topic of the power supply, this power supply is 12 volts. Make sure you don't plug any other power supply, particularly 24, 48. It'll damage the electronics inside the unit. So we'll go on now to talk about the pump. The pump sits at the bottom of the bucket, and it can plug into the line, either AC line, or in any other country you can have an adapter. And this is a small aquarium pump, which is good for this 5-gallon container. If you're using a 30 or 50-gallon container, you might want to have a more powerful pump. This is a more powerful pump here, and this is run off a 12 volt power supply, except that it's 60 watts. These little motors require quite a bit of power. Or alternatively, here's another one. You can get an alternative on Amazon, but this is one I like. Again, 12 volt operated. This from a boat, a marine, a cabin cruiser bilge pump. So the bilge pump pumps out water from the bottom of a boat on 12 volt. This is much more powerful and perhaps more suited to a 50-gallon drum. So I have all of these. This one is line operated. Some are 12 volt operated. So that about concludes assembling the commercial colloidal generators for any metal: silver, gold, platinum, palladium, zinc, magnesium, silver, tin, carbon. Any of these will all work with our commercial generators. So thank you for watching.